What's up, guys? Welcome back. All right, let me take a sip of my tea because I am a tea drinker so I can get into this properly with you guys. Okay, so question. Has the expectation of monogamy in relationships run its course? I know you don't want to think about it. It's definitely not something that you want. That's what we need for our relationships to feel healthy and whole, right? But are we done pulling our hair out yet, ladies? Like, seriously. We have been stressed beyond reason over if our significant others have been faithful, monogamous, all of that. If we're being 1,000% honest, right? So today I'm going to give you 3 reasons why it might be time to stop putting all that pressure on our relationships and just be. I don't know about you ladies, but I am exhausted. Exhausted. I mean, how many of you have been in relationships where your significant other has cheated, or you've seen the devastation it causes within families when there's infidelity? You've heard about it or you've experienced it. And it's not easy to go through this, right? So we're going to talk about that today because let's be clear, it is truly goals to have a solid monogamous marriage, relationship, whatever. But it's also a stressor, like a weight on our shoulders. And we watch men struggle with it. So keep listening because we're going to get into that. And later on, I'm going to give you 3 signs that your man is cheating. Okay. The top 3 signs. All right. So let's talk about it. Why are men struggling? I'm not saying that there aren't women out there that cheat. I'm not saying that at all. But we do hear a lot about men cheating, and it's not all men. I know that. But is it boredom? Is it have my cake and eat it too? I'm not really sure. But I know it's getting to the point where we're not even surprised anymore, are we, ladies? We're at the point that it's not an if he's cheating, but when he actually does it. And that's a shame. If that's where we are, that's terrible. Because one thing I know is that people are going to be where they want to be, and they're going to cheat if they want to cheat, and we can't control it. So the question is, why do men struggle? Maybe it's a conversation we need to have with men more. What is the struggle and how can we help you with it? I'm also wondering, is the picket fence enough for men? Or is it the case where there's always going to be a need for more than the white picket fence, more than raising the family and having that unit and growing old with someone? I'm not really even sure if it's enough. And is that why people step out and do other things? Let me know your thoughts in the comments because I'd love to hear it. And what is enough? What is enough these days? I mean, we're all growing and changing. I feel as women, we actually love the idea of not only building families, but being in a relationship with one person that we can love and trust and having a strong friendship. I know that the friends I've had that have been in relationships at a young age, sometimes they feel like they wish they had dated more. That being said, I know the flip side, which is sometimes when you're single and you have had that freedom to date, you may actually want someone to settle down with. I know there's that too. So what is enough? Is it enough to have a unit, or is it that men feel as though part of them being men is they need to have it all? That freedom that comes with being single, but also the family unit. Questions. These are questions I have, and I would love to hear from you guys if you could tell me what you think as well. Because you know what? Infidelity is here to stay, unfortunately. It's been baked into the cake forever. So we need to talk about it. All right. So that's one of the things that we need to discuss. The other thing that's important, because on the other side of this is the people that are affected by the infidelity. And a lot of times it's us as women, and we have these expectations where we have a whole future plan with someone, and the complete and utter devastation that follows when we realize that that person that we had built our hopes and our dreams on is not who we really think they are, because they've been doing X, Y, and Z. I think people vote with their feet. I think that this is actually my really personal opinion about this. If someone cheats one time, is it devastating? Yes. It's not optimal and it's super devastating. But if I tell you how devastated I am and how it's basically just dismantle whatever trust I had, and you go and do it a second time, well, then there's my answer. So it's not even worth me sticking around for, because you are fully aware of the pain that was caused by the infidelity and you are still doing it. So that's just my sidebar on how I feel about that. I feel very strongly about that. I do feel like people are human and we are prone to mistakes, but I feel like at some point we have to course correct depending upon what's important to us. And I think if it is important for someone to regain trust, they do it. It's that simple. People vote with their feet. So we have all these expectations and sometimes we are disappointed. I don't believe that ignorance is bliss, because it's a crazy world. And I think that honesty and authenticity are paramount, even to the point where I think that I would rather have someone tell me. I mean, wouldn't you rather have someone tell you if they couldn't bear another moment just being in a relationship, a monogamous relationship, and they wanted to do other things, even if that meant the dissolution of the current relationship that they're in? I would much rather somebody keep it real with me like that than live a double life and have their cake and eat it too. I mean, that's like 1,000 times worse to me. So I don't think ignorance is bliss. I would rather have somebody to tell me the truth. But that being said, I think that when you have the idea of monogamy or exclusivity and you're not being honest with people, it does turn into a trap. But that brings me to one of my most important points and around this issue of monogamy. I think it's open communication. Open communication is so important because, again, we learn, we grow. The person that you were dating at 25 may be a completely different person at 35. But I think if you care about someone, you owe them the check in. Like, look, I still want to do this. You're still the person I want to be with, and I'm in it 1,000%. Or the flip side is, listen, I'm a whole different situation, or I'm a whole different person than I was when we got together. And I just really want to be on my own. I know it's going to be difficult. I know we have a family together, or maybe you don't, but I respect you too much to diminish what we have by stepping out on you. So I'd rather go my own way. And so I think that if you really care about somebody, you owe them the check-in, because ultimately double lives don't work. When you have one person over here thinking they're with you and then the other person thinks they're with you, at some point the gig is up and your two worlds collide, and it causes a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of upset people. So I think that when you make a commitment to someone, it's important to make a commitment to transparency. So the idea that we're addressing today, is monogamy still realistic? It can be. Monogamy in a relationship or marriage is super realistic if you have open communication and you commit to the check-in. If you respect someone enough, you will check in and let them know if you still want to be in it for the long haul. Anything else is going to undermine the relationship. And I think that's why it's so important to be transparent and to be authentic. My money is on the men and women that enter into a relationship knowing that they are flawed humans, but if anything changes, they will let the other person know respectfully. Okay? That's where my money is. And that's what I hope that we can all get to at some point. If you feel differently, let me know. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of the New York City perspective. So New York City is one of the single capitals of the world, and almost every woman I know has been affected in some way at some point by infidelity. So I have to say it, a lot of us are somewhat jaded. We need to see something different because we've seen so much and it really hasn't been good. So in the spirit of addressing the jaded women out there that think most men are doing X, Y, and Z, I'm going to give you the top 3 cheating signs. Forget about the business cards in the pocket, because no one does that anymore. Or phone numbers on paper. We know that's not even a thing anymore. We just use our phones. Everything's digital. I'm going to give you the top 3 cheating signs. Okay, number 1, he's emotionally distant. He's not really connecting with you, talking to you. He's kind of like his mind is elsewhere. He's not even caring about having meaningful discussions with you. And he's kind of there, but he's not there. Sign number 1. Number 2, MIA. say he's missing in action at really odd times or on the weekend for like blocks of time. He's going to the car wash, but he's actually gone for 4 hours. And then when you ask him about it, he might be a little bit ambivalent. That's something you need to watch for. Number 3, I think this is a really important one because I've seen this in real time. Someone that argues with you a lot more than usual. So when someone's doing things that they probably shouldn't be doing, they'll tend to project and argue, pick little fights so they have a reason to like go off and like do other things. I have a friend, and every Friday night her boyfriend would start an argument with her, and that was just so he could go off and do his own thing. And then Saturday morning everything would be cool. It was a pattern. Look for the pattern. So those are my top three signs: being emotionally distant, missing in action for blocks of time, and the arguments start to increase. Watch out for that. And on that note, I am out. Ladies, if you love it, share it, and definitely drop me a comment. All right, guys, meet me right back here next week. And don't forget to hit that follow button and leave a review. And tell all your friends, because the single girls just got the mic.